Good morning.
Your phone.
On my phone.
Yeah, and maybe probably needs a new system. It's literally what I'm looking at, yeah.
Good morning. We'll call the public hearing to order Tuesday, April 7th, 2015, 9:30 a.m. Do I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Tedesco,
Here.
Commissioner Odoricio,
Here.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Hanson.
Here.
Commissioner Pulowski.
Yes.
Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you very much. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Pulowski.
Yes.
Commissioner Hanson. Commissioner Odoricio. Commissioner Tedesco.
Yes. Okay, awards and presentations. Today, April 7th, 2015, we will be doing a presentation on Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Welcome everyone, and good morning. I'm reading a script. Can you tell? Can you tell? In recognition of Sexual Assault Awareness Month, the Adams County Board of Commissioners wishes to do its part to bring awareness to the very serious issue of sexual assault in our community. According to the Colorado Coalition Against Sexual Assault, sexual violence is more prevalent than many citizens realize. In fact, 1 in 2 women and 1 out of every 4 men will encounter unwanted and uninvited sexual contact during their lifetime. The victims of sexual assault can include your friends, your family, your neighbors. Tragically, the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network reports that 68% of sexual assaults are never reported to the police, and 98% of rapists will never spend a day in jail or prison. The Colorado Sexual Assault Response Project, a multi-agency collaboration funded through grants from the Colorado Division of Criminal Justice and the Office of Violence Against Women, is a sexual assault response team for the 17th Judicial District that not only educates the community on this pervasive issue, but also increases the number of investigations and prosecutions involving sexual assaults. This program, currently in its 3rd year, is the first program of its kind to serve an urban area in the state of Colorado. We would like to officially declare April 2015 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month by reading a proclamation.
Proclamation, Sexual Assault Awareness Month, April 2015. Whereas April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month and calls attention to the fact that sexual assault is widespread and impacts every person in Adams County, and whereas rape, sexual assault, and sexual harassment impact all citizens in Adams County, with statistics that show 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men will be raped at some point in their lives, and whereas child sexual abuse prevention must be a priority to confront the reality that 1 in 6 boys and 1 in 4 girls will experience a sexual assault before the age of 18, whereas young people experience heightened rates of sexual assault, and youth ages 12 to 17 are 2.5 times as likely to be victims of rape or sexual assault. And whereas on campus, 1 in 5 women and 1 in 16 men are sexually assaulted, and whereas Adams County serves 8 community colleges and 1 state college, and youth under 18 years constitute 36% of the total population. And whereas all citizens in Adams County play a role in preventing sexual violence with taking the first step by increasing education, awareness, and opportunity for community involvement. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Adams County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim the month of April 2015 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month. We, the undersigned, proclaim that now is the time to take action as leaders in our community to create safe environments for all Adams County citizens, including our youth and our educational institutions. We must work together to educate members of our community about sexual violence prevention, support survivors, and speak out against harmful attitudes and actions. We join advocates and community across the country in playing an active role to prevent sexual violence. We publicly proclaim April to be Sexual Assault Awareness Month and recognize that each day of the year is an opportunity to create change for the future.
Thank you very much. Today, we're honored to have Representative District Attorney Dave Young's office, represented here by Jess Redmond. Jess, if you would like to step forward and make any announcements that you would like to make or remarks. And please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Jess Redmond. I'm the Assistant District Attorney. I appreciate the board allowing me to speak on behalf of the District Attorney's Office. Mr. Dave Young is unavailable and regrets not being able to be here. Also, good morning to the staff and the public who's present. I appreciate the board's recognition of the pervasive problem of sexual assault in our community. In addition, to recognize by proclaiming awareness of this month of this problem of sexual assault, I challenge us all to think about it in a different way. Rather than thinking of the victims or thinking of the problem of sexual assault, how are you going to respond? Our social norms dictate our responses to every scenario that we're faced with. So how are you going to respond to sexual assault? Imagine a scenario where you're at a diner with a friend, drinking coffee, having good conversation. Waitress comes by and asks if she can refill your coffee. Of course, you return to engage in conversation, upon which point you notice the coffee is overflowing, pouring into your lap, scalding. What if the response was, you weren't clear enough when you wanted me to stop? Imagine a scenario where you get home from an evening out and you realize that your home has been burglarized. Someone's been inside. You call law enforcement, they investigate, upon which time they notice that you have a welcome mat at the front of your door. What if the response were, hey, you asked for it? Imagine a scenario where you put on your favorite Broncos jersey and you go to the game, you're standing in line to get a beer, and someone out of nowhere, much larger than you, tackles you. The response is, well, you'd been drinking and you chose to wear that jersey. We wouldn't accept those responses. So why is it different with sexual assault? Why do we look at the victim? Why do we judge the victim? Why do we apply bias, doubt, disbelief? I challenge us all to think about it in a different way. How are you going to respond? Ending Violence Against Women International has a campaign called Start by Believing. And the message is simple. It's not judgment of the offender or the suspect. It's asking us to start with the response of, how can I help? Believing the scenario. You would never respond to someone who told you a story of a tragic car accident where a loved one was lost. You would never respond by saying, public transportation is the way to go. You respond by believing. I think we can challenge ourselves to take the obligation within our community to start by believing. I'm very proud of my office and the various representatives of the Sheriff's Office and the victims community with our SART team, our Sexual Assault Response Team, a multi-agency collaboration to promote awareness, just like the board has started this morning. Promote awareness and challenge each other to think about it in a different way, to look at case reviews, do a better job of investigating, do a better job of thinking, how can we provide services to the victims in our community to help address the pervasive problem of sexual assault? Because it's those that are most close to us who, when they make a report, depending on how we respond, may dictate the rest of their lives. I thank the Board of Commissioners for this opportunity to address them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very well said. Victim service units from various criminal justice agencies are present here today. If I could have all of you stand just for a recognition. Thank you very much for all that you do. I know that it's a very demanding job and it takes a lot of your time and emotion. At this time, I do see some other elected officials in the office, in the audience at least. Sheriff McIntosh is here. Sheriff, if you would like to come down and say a few words. And at this time, I'd also like anyone else from the victim services units that would like to come down and make a statement also.
Right. My name is Jalen Wayman with the Adams County Sheriff's Office. I'm the coordinator of our Victim Services Unit. And I'd just like to thank all of you and all of the community and all of the elected officials for coming here and supporting victims of crime, specifically of sexual assault, because we couldn't do it without the support of the people who are running all of these agencies. So we really appreciate all that you do to support our services.
Thank you. As the Sheriff of Adams County, it's an honor to be standing before you, and I would echo what Jess just delivered as far as thanking you for the proclamation and the awareness for sexual assault. As a detective, I worked those cases for several years, and working with the victims of those types of crimes, it's often we forget about what it is that they go through. And one of the groups that I think is so important to the district attorney's office and to the sheriff's office is our victim services group. I can tell you as a law enforcement officer for over 27 years now, the impact that they have in our communities and what it is that they do on a daily basis to assist law enforcement, but more importantly, when there is a victim of a crime, and they sit with that victim, and they walk through that process with the victim, when they're the ones that are there taking the phone calls and the follow-up, and then when it moves to the court, and we have the victim advocates and victim witness group out of the district attorney's office that follows them through the court process. It is very important to us to know that there is an awareness now about what that victim is going through and how important it is for us to work on a continual basis to lower those numbers, the statistics that you read, Commissioner Pulowski. We have really got to put forth an effort to bring those numbers down in our community here and make sure that from a public safety perspective that we are taking care of our victims, but more importantly, looking for ways of preventing future victims. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would like to make a comment at this time? Again, I want to show my appreciation for all that you do and for the proclamation we are declaring today, so thank you all. Are we doing pictures? Okay, we will come down around. If I could ask, I want everyone that's involved, everyone that has from the units could come forward. We'll take a picture right here in front. Okay? Moving on, public comment. Erica, do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
We do have one person signed up for public comment,
Okay,
Benjamin Thompson.
Commissioner, he was here this morning, and I believe Norman and Andrea addressed his concerns. It was in regards to a code issue
Okay.
on his street, so he left.
okay. Is there anyone else signed up for public comment?
There is not.
Is there anyone in the audience who did not sign up for public comment who wishes to do so at this time? Seeing none, elected officials, any comments? Seeing none. Consent calendar, do I have a motion for consent calendar?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
Commissioner O'Dorisio,
Yes.
Commissioner Pulowski,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Hanson,
Aye.
Commissioner Tedesco.
Yes. Okay, moving on, new business, county manager.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. We have two items this morning. The first one's a resolution approving change order number 1 to an agreement between Adams County and Lane Heavy Civil for the Regional Park Lift Station number 1 improvements for the Parks and Open Space Department. I'm going to start with Deputy County Manager Ed Finger, who will give it some clarification points, and then we'll turn over to purchasing.
Good morning, Commissioners. Liz Espinoza will present the item. The letter that was just presented here to you is a letter of recommendation for the change order that Liz is going to describe to you. The letter was indicated that it would be attached in the agenda item, but it wasn't. Instead, staff's recommendation letter was attached. The letter is available to anybody in the audience that would like to see it here today, and the letter will be put on the website immediately following this meeting for anybody that would like to see it. But I assure the Commission that the letter supports staff's recommendation and staff's write-up of the project. And I said Liz Estrada is what I'm sure I said.
Okay. Bids for the Regional Park Lift Station Number 1 improvements were opened on November 6th of 2014. A total of $838,299 is budgeted for the project. Lane Heavy Civil was the lowest responsive and responsible bidder and awarded the project at the cost of $569,073. On March 13th of 2015, Adams County, Jacobs Engineering, and Lane Heavy Civil met to discuss the tight shoring concerns, alternative shoring methods, and cost mitigation measures, including a field visit to determine possible revisions to the plans. Based on the results of the meeting, Lane has requested the quantities of the bid item for tight shoring be adjusted to reflect an additional 960 square feet of shoring. The change order adjustments would be at their original bid unit price of $39.20 per square foot and will be a not-to-exceed amount. This represents an increase of $37,632. This quantity was based on design adjustments made by both Jacobs Engineering and Lane Heavy Civil, and a good faith effort to keep the project moving so it can be finished prior to the 2015 fair. The additional shoring cost results in Lane still being the lowest bidder for the project and an adjusted price of $606,705. Parks and the Open Space staff feels that this proposed change order is appropriate, reasonable, and provides the required shoring within the approved budget for the project, and therefore recommends the change order number 1 be approved for an additional amount of $37,632.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, do you have any questions for staff at this time?
I do.
Commissioner O'Dorisio.
You stated that they were the lowest bidder before, and they also remain the lowest bidder at this point, even with this amendment?
That's true.
Okay. And were these items that we're making changes of based on facts that were not known at the time of the original bid?
Yes, that is true. These were not included in the original bid. These were discovered after the fact.
No other questions?
Commissioners, any other questions for staff? No questions. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a comment on this? Seeing none. Commissioners, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve change order number 1 to an agreement between Adams County and Lane Heavy Civil for Regional Park, a lift station improvement number 1 improvements for the Parks and Open Space Department.
Second.
Commissioner Hanson,
Aye.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Pulaski,
Yes.
Commissioner Odericio,
Yes.
Commissioner Tedesco.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Our second item is a resolution accepting a proposal from CopyCo Quality Printing Incorporated to provide countywide printing services. Heidi Elias with our purchasing division is here to talk through that one.
Good morning, Commissioners. Heidi Ellis, purchasing agent. Adams County has utilized printing services on an as-needed basis for county business cards, letterhead, envelopes, and forms. There are symbols, the logo type, the rule, and the state graphic, each of which has been carefully crafted as part of a cohesive unit. To ensure proper presentation of Adams County's logo, a graphic standards manual was developed. The guidelines established are intended to maintain the consistent identity and visual uniformity across the range of applications for the Adams County logo. No element of the logo should be altered in any way, as if it is a visible identity that will carry forward the history, tradition, and positive image of Adams County. A RFP was performed for services of a qualified printing firm, a firm to provide printing services for letterhead, business cards, envelopes, and other items as required for Adams County Government Office, Human Services Department, Sheriff's Office, the District Attorney's Office, and Front Range Airport. The solicitation was posted on Rocky Mountain e-purchasing system on October 30th, 2014, and closed on December 2nd of 2014. 7 proposals were submitted from Rico USA Inc., C&D Printing, Qual Image Printing Corp., Centennial Printing, Staple Contract and Commercial, Inc., My Office, Inc., and CopyCo Quality Printing, Inc., our current supplier. Staff evaluated the needs of the county and measured those needs against the proposal submitted using the following criteria that's presented on the memo, on the public agenda memo. There were 3 offers shortlisted: Centennial Printing, CopyCo Quality Printing, Inc., and My Office, Inc. Based upon the scores received for their submitted proposals, each offerer was sent a letter with clarification questions for responses on their printing service and online ordering system. Offerer scores are based upon their written proposal and best and final offer responses. The term of the agreement will be for 1 initial year with 2 one-year renewal options. Staff recommends the award to CopyCo Quality Printing, Inc. in the amount of $317,630 annually for a total of $952,890 for 3 years.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, do we have any questions? Commissioner Henry?
Actually, I don't have a question. I appreciate everything that you put in here. I do have a comment that the fact that I do know that we had a printer that was from Adams County that applied, and if we had used the preferential points that Commissioner Pawlowski and I had suggested, possibly they could have actually gotten a bid, and we could have kept the money in Adams County, employing Adams County citizens, where the Adams County taxpayer money would actually be in Adams County. But unfortunately, we decided not to do that in a study session.
Commissioner Pulaski?
Who has done this previously? What company have you worked with previously?
CopyCo is currently the vendor who's providing the services. Last year, I would have to get that information on who the previous vendor was
You
outside of
don't?
CopyCo.
Okay. Well, and that's a question, and I totally agree with what Commissioner Henry is, her remarks. The other thing is, and I asked this last week, and I'm sure you weren't aware of this, but I'm sure there's probably are some, if we could at least put the addresses of where, when we accept these bids, or these bids are presented, the addresses, I would appreciate that.
They're actually
Mayor,
Is it there?
Fort Collins.
Oh, it's Fort Collins.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Oh, dear, okay, sorry, I missed that. Thank you. That's all I had.
Thank you. Commissioners, any other questions for staff? No other questions? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a statement at this time? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Sure. I'll do this one too. Mr. Chairman, I would move to award a contract, accept a proposal from Copico Quality Printing, and award the contract to them to provide countywide printing services.
Second.
Commissioner Hanson,
Aye.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Pulaski,
Yes.
Commissioner Odericio,
Yes.
Commissioner Tedesco.
Yes, thank you very much. Can I ask, since we have Jim Seidlecki here from our communications, our microphones seem to be like on high,
Only yours.
and we're only doing some humming up here, so could you address that for us, please?
Work with Fang, yeah.
Okay. Okay, County Attorney?
Good morning, Commissioners. I would ask that we go into executive session for three purposes today, as time allows. The first is an executive session pursuant to Colorado Revised Statute 246402(4)B and E for the purpose of negotiation discussions and discussions of matters to be kept confidential regarding transportation projects.
Commissioners, do we have a motion for the?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Pulaski,
Yes.
Commissioner Hanson,
Aye.
Commissioner Odericio, Commissioner Tedesco.
Yes.
And the second executive session would be pursuant to Colorado Revised Statute 246402(4)B for the purpose of receiving legal advice regarding a contract for printing services. And this is not the contract that you just voted on. This is the contract for printing services related to the 2014 election.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Hanson,
Aye.
Commissioner Odericio, Commissioner Pulaski,
Yes.
Commissioner Tedesco.
Yes.
And last, the last executive session is pursuant to Colorado Revised Statute 246402(4)B and E for the purpose of receiving legal advice and negotiation strategy regarding potential development at DIA.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
Commissioner Odericio, Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Pulaski,
Yes.
Commissioner Hanson, Commissioner Tedesco.
Yes. Thank you very much. County Attorney, any other business?
No, thank you.
All right, with no further business, we will recess for 5 minutes, and we will resume at 10:05. Thank you. I just wanted to give you guys enough time if you had to run somewhere.
Well, they responded. They are.